What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. This is episode number 47. I am your host, Tortoise Scorp, here with my co host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
Yeah, so we got a lot of things to talk about this episode. We didn't have an episode last week, so kind of like 2 weeks worth of information kind of coming all into one. And then
True.
we're gonna maybe later in the podcast, if we still have time, we're gonna take a we're gonna do like a little dive into some of the things recently about like not recently but like well right now with like player salaries I guess it's pretty recent, but like the relationship between like an org and like their members as far as like creators go, especially creators, and then like a little bit into players as well. So I guess I'll start us off. I got a nice like list here of stuff that's happened that we can kind of like talk about for a minute. So one thing that happened early last week was Optic and FaZe Rocket League rosters were both dropped. So I'm guessing they're pulling out of the league. So does that mean like Rocket League's kind of like going downhill? Does it mean like Optic and FaZe just don't want to invest in it anymore? They want to go somewhere else? What do you think the
I'm not
deal
even
is?
sure to be honest.
Cause like I watch Rocket League sometimes, but I'm not like a big into it. But like I saw something and they were like, well, like is this like bad? Is this good? Is this what is this? Because it could be one of two things. Either Optic and FaZe are trying to make their money move somewhere else that's coming up that's gonna be a better opportunity. Maxifying probably. But or is Rocket League just on the down turn? Because they haven't really done anything new with Rocket League in like years. I feel like it's the same shit over and over.
I haven't followed Rocket League, so I can't tell you.
I feel like it's just been the same dealio. There's been no like, oh, blah blah blah, So I don't know. Every game comes. That's the one thing about esports is different than like traditional sports is that every game comes to an end. You know, except for
That's
League
like
of
Gears
Legends
of War.
and Counter Strike.
Gears of War is basically dead now,
Yeah, like the only two
and
that
it
haven't
used to be
really
pretty big.
died are like Super Smash, but Super Smash has died down. Still alive though. But and then like League of Legends still going strong. I feel like that's like 20 years. Same thing with like Counter
I feel like the
Strike.
only reason why Smash is like having problems is because of the divide between the players. Because like there's some players that want to play the new ones,
And there's
and there's
some
some players
players
that
that want to
only
play
want to
the
play the old ones.
yeah. So that's the only reason why that's happened. Because everyone loves Smash. Like that game is still like a classic, like in
Yeah,
everybody's repertoire. Not everyone plays like Gears anymore, you know what I mean? So they've moved on.
Gears' time in esports has passed.
Yeah.
After
Uh
like Gears 5 didn't take off, it's like nah, it's
yeah.
probably not happening again.
I agree. So like, I think we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that's another esport down for the count, added to the graveyard, you know what I mean? But continuing in Optic news, I guess we can just move past X. I don't know. There was the Halo major at Fort Worth last weekend. It was the
Yep.
last major of 2023 season before the like the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
They start pool play this week, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw you tweet about it earlier. Optic won again. Optic's so dominant, like in every esport. They might not win everything, but they definitely like top five it consistently, which is pretty like rare
I
to
think
see.
Optic's worst placing in Halo since they got this new team was like since they re-entered Halo, I think is like top 6,
Yeah,
and that happened like once.
yeah. Like if I know they might not win everything. I mean, they're winning right now, like, but like they even like there was like an Apex thing over the weekend, that same weekend, and they got like second, I think, to like TSM.
Yeah, they got
Like
second. I'm pretty sure nobody expected them to get second.
no,
Like I really have not heard. It's not that I've heard bad things about the Optic Apex team, but from what I've like seen, they have not performed the best,
yeah.
and
So,
they came into champs and got second.
but like the thing is like the fact that Optic has been so dominant, you know what I mean? Like across the board. And it's not like as much as like, yeah, they may not win in every esport or like and they might not win all the time, except for like this Halo team. This Halo team's crack, but that's just performance on it, honestly, in my opinion. Take it or leave it. But like, you don't see a lot of other like any really other teams that are dominant across that many esports. Like they're good in Valorant, they're good in COD, they're good in Halo, good in Apex. Like I don't know any other
I'd
esports
say
because they
like
pull
the
it Rocket
only
League.
three teams that do that consistently are FaZe, Optic, and 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
It's like every other team has like one or two esports that
that are
they are really
really
good at.
really
Everything
good.
else, they're not that really that great. But like, it seems like 100 Thieves, Optic, and FaZe are always competitors and contenders in every
Hmm.
esport they play.
Yeah, they may not always win, but they always like make it a point to be known that they're not here to screw around or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just I watched it and it was good. It was good.
Well, the thing about Halo is like they're forming a pattern again
Mm-hmm.
because last year they won the last event before champs, and then they won champs. And this year they came in and played very well at the last event before champs and won.
So now they just got to do it
So they
again.
have momentum heading into champs.
Well, okay. So let's look at this bracket real quick that I sent you. Hold on, if I can find it. We were chit chatting. We were chit chatting. Okay. All right. So this bracket, it's not bracket, but pool play um situation. Oh man, I just remembered that I really don't know like logos that well. Damn. But anyway, Optic
I
and
know
Phase
most of
and
them. Actually, I think I
Cloud9.
know all of them.
Oh shit. Well, then you just run us through because I have no. Some of these I'm like, yeah, that's like Cloud9. That's Luminosity. That's Phase. There's, I'm guessing Divine, Optic Gaming,
So
but that's
Pool
about
A
it.
is Optic, G1, Complexity, and Divine Mind. That's Pool A. Pool B is Space Station, Sentinels, Cloud9, and Luminosity. Uh, I don't know what there's one that I don't know in Pool C,
Is it the
but
NG logo?
no, the NG one is native red and then native whites under them, and then like and then Shopify Rebellion, but I don't know what the European one is.
I think it's Impact.
And then and then Pool D is Phase, Quadrant, LVT, and Navi.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you go Deception. Also, guys, I got this new like browser extension where I can change my cursor. You
Oh,
ready? Hold on, you guys aren't ready for this. Ready? Hold on, where is he? Okay, ready? Got freaking Jack Sparrow as my cursor with like a sword. This is what I
what?
do when I'm boarding class. I also have like a bunch of different other ones too. Like, um, I've got a holiday one. I've got Disenchantment. It's a TV show. I've got like a bunch of other ones on my laptop. I don't have as many on my PC, but my laptop I have more. I've been downloaded on both, so and I have different mouse like cursors on
Lord.
both. So this is what happens when I have a 2.5 hour lecture on Monday nights. Period. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's the pools for champs.
What are your predictions? Like, who do you think's gonna? I think Optic's
Uh,
gonna take it. Their
I'm
first
pretty sure
seed.
only two teams can make it out of each pool.
Yeah.
Um, I think, I mean, it's probably like honestly like pretty cut and dry. Like I would probably say
The probably top. 6, 7, 8. Top 8. Maybe like one team like switching out. Maybe like G1 or something. Deception, you still there? Deception. Whoa. Alright, cool. Cool. Where'd he go? Deception. Bruh. Hello. Deception? Okay, well, Deception's not. I don't know what he's doing. But I think it's gonna be like top 8 that's right now. So like these four teams and then these 4 teams. Right? And then I think like maybe like G1 might get traded out for another one. But I do think like the top 5 will probably stay the same out of just like principle, I guess, you know? Optic's looking like it's got a pretty good chance. Did get first seed, so it does get the best pool. So okay, there he goes. Optic did get the best pool, so I'm guessing like, you know, they're probably gonna play pretty well and move forward to champs. It's kind of like how it works, you know, you play well throughout the year, you're gonna get a good setup in pool play. So we'll just have to like, you know, wait and see on that one. I don't championships is in Seattle, Washington, so that's like 3 hours behind my time zone. So I might be able to watch it. Depends. I might be able to watch it because I wake up super late because I work super late, especially on weekends. I work till like 3:30 in the morning on weekends. Um, Hashtag college life, you know. But yeah, Deception, like Deception, bro. Hello. Hold on, we have some technical difficulties going on real quick. Hold on, guys. But I'm just gonna keep talking about Halo until Deception gets back, I guess. But yeah, it's I really don't know a lot about Halo, so I can't really make like a good a good uh like prediction on like the rest of the teams because I don't watch it that much. I just kind of like watch Optic, you know, hashtag Green Wall. But I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and I'm ready to I don't know, see Optic win again. Honestly, they keep doing it, you know, they keep doing it. But what else we got going on here? We got a couple other things. Yeah, grand finals comms en route. Okay, so here's like the comms from the team.
Yes, sir.
In their grand final. Only one job when we hear these whites. When we wear these whites. Thanks. Those are their championship white jerseys. Look at, they look so good though. If it'll load, you know. Because I think my stuff is all shitting. Deception, welcome back.
Bro, why do my power just randomly go out? Nothing's even going on.
Put your power one out? Shit. So Optic just posted the comms from the champs. So I'm just gonna
Agreed.
Keep our game going. Same exact game we've been playing, man.
Oh,
Let's go.
Lord.
Let's get it, boys.
Get it
Let's
now.
go.
They said
Yeah,
only
serious.
one job when we
Sure,
wear these
formals, I'll be
whites.
talking
Four
a lot
maps.
of
Let's
trash.
have 4
Yeah,
maps. Let's
dude.
Yep. Done it before.
Have some fun.
Our sword.
Sword and bridge. They put on me.
I did not cap this. I got it. What? Okay, there we go.
Shut
Nice,
the- Yo,
nice.
green and long, green and long.
Absolute.
Nice, Matt. You gotta
Stay
touch.
alive,
You gotta touch.
Yeah, like-
Nice, Matt. That's gotta touch. Let's get. He's
Like-
pushing. Pushing into put.
The way that they talk with each other, you know what I mean? Like it's very like cohesive. You know what I mean? They're like they call out and then like when someone gets a kill and they know that person got a kill, they're like nice kill. Like they're very like close as a team and they're very like supportive of each other. I feel like that's very hard to find, especially in modern day esports where everyone's competing against everyone else, you know what I mean?
They've also had chemistry for so long. 'Cause
Yeah.
this team has been together for Like a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
Half shields Mauler, half shields Mauler. Get this go,
Weak
get this
Mauler,
go,
weak
get this go,
Mauler.
get this go.
That's very important. This
Let's go,
chemistry,
man. So the fuck-
and like especially now where you can just drop
One
an
shot's
ad,
going on.
Trash has to loot. Trash has to loot.
Yo,
like
bottom mid.
like it's nobody's business. Like
Yeah.
it's very hard to like keep a team together to build that chemistry. Like that was the problem that like LA Thieves had their first year in the league. They were like making a new roster every freaking week. They were adding, dropping, and it just like wasn't benefiting them in any sort of way until like they found a team that like drived like a little bit, and then they ended up dropping them at the end of the season anyway. Except for like a couple people that stayed. You know what I mean? Is you know. Here, let's go to the end of the game where they like win or something. Let's hear these win comms. If it'll load, that is. PC's been doing this weird thing where it like won't
They
load
really
stuff. It's
iced
cool.
up in that series.
Oh yeah.
Just send like, cause when they went to grand finals, like they sent Space Station down to the losers bracket, and then Space Station came back. In the first series, Space Station 4-0'd them,
Oh shit.
and everybody was like, "Oh no!" Like they were like, "Oh, it's gonna go to the second series and it's gonna be scary." And it went to Game 7.
Well, I would love to listen to these comms, but they're not like working. So we'll just I don't know, I wanted to point out like the cohesiveness of the team, and it literally just posted like 4 minutes ago. So I figured we could give it a little bit of a watch. But yeah. I just Optic's really like making their comeback right now. Like to think that like Optic wasn't even Optic for like a couple years, you know, and then now it's back, and it's really better than ever. And like I think Pamaj just moved down from Canada to Texas.
Yeah, he literally just got
He-
to Texas.
Yeah, so he was in a podcast the other day. I saw his Twitter post. He said first content day at the you know, at the office or something like that. And I love Pamaj, you know what I mean? Like Mans he's Pamaj. You know what I mean? We knew he was coming back
You
to
know, they
Optic.
finally got the Optic Dynasty back together.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I haven't watched it yet though. Have you watched it?
I don't think they've uploaded it yet.
No?
I'm not sure.
Oh. Well, I saw the picture on
I don't
Twitter.
think they've uploaded it. They uploaded like snippets from it, I think, or
Ah.
like screenshots. But yeah,
Trying to
they
hype
got
it
all
up.
4 of them together.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that'd be
I
don't
don't
know.
think they've uploaded it yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll go see if they uploaded it. Where is it? Yeah, they have not uploaded it.
no. That's all right. When it does when it does, we'll talk about it. We'll delve into it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just you know, seeing how far they've come, and I mean, we called it here on the podcast that when Pamaj left FaZe that he was gonna go, you know, to back to
I
Optic.
knew it.
And like I understand why he did
I
what he
literally,
did.
like, as soon as I saw the video on YouTube where he left, I got it in my recommended. I
Yeah.
saw it, and the first thing I thought is he's going to
Yeah.
Optic.
I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't though. Like it's Optic, you know, and he's been there before. I mean, he left FaZe to go to Optic, and then he left Optic to go back to FaZe. He just like jumps between the two. He's a little.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit of an org hopper, but he only hops between 2 orgs, and they're like the 2 best orgs to
Well,
exist.
to be fair, he only left Optic because they were in the whole Infinite
Yeah.
situation where things were not going that great. He left Optic to go to FaZe, hoping that, like, because at that time FaZe was a different org than they are now, and he gets on FaZe and now they start turning into a different org.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the Pamaj curse or something.
I don't know.
But so I'm glad to see him back in the green, you know. Glad to see him back in the green.
I
Oh,
figured he would be back.
Speaking of FaZe, hold on. FaZe Rain tweeted the other day. FaZe Rain tweeted the other day something.
FaZe fired their CAO.
They did?
Hmm.
Oh shit.
They fired their CEO.
Oh fuck. Thank God. Alright, so FaZe Rain. Okay. FaZe. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. So FaZe has been like his FaZe stock has been down for has been going down since it like started,
The
right?
lowest it's ever been right
Yeah.
now.
So FaZe fired the CEO over the weekend as stock sits at 22 cents. Who could ever expect this such
Yeah.
a credible misfortune? You know what I mean? You know,
They're about to
it's
get taken off the market.
yeah. So Lee has been terminated from his position, effective immediately. It was over the weekend. September 10th is what the announcement was dated. Um, so okay, and
Yeah,
then
I figured that would happen eventually.
FaZe Rain did a tweet also. I'll pull that up real quick. Um, he said, and like FaZe Rain, so we talked about this a couple times on the podcast. He's been very outspoken. He doesn't like bullshit. Like he very much speaks what he's feeling.
True.
And I'm not saying that I like him as a person, but I do like that he doesn't let the fact that like he's part of FaZe get in the way of like him, going back for like what FaZe should be and what it was, and like fighting for that still, you know. Like I have my own opinions on the guy. If I were to know him in real life, I probably wouldn't be friends with him. But when it comes to like business and esports business, like the man, he is like someone that like knows what the fuck he's doing. Because he's been doing it for like longer than most, you know what I mean? Over a decade, 15 years I think now. So he said in this tweet, he said, I only speak on the FaZe stuff because I don't want the gaming/YouTube space controlled by old white guys that set the structure to take everyone's money, like in the music industry or in big entertainment. I didn't even care for it back, and I just know exposing them and telling the truth is what hurts them. I post the chairman of the board on my story by name, and he retires 2 hours later. End of the day, all you bots talk shit scrolling all day and do absolutely nothing for nobody will never get to me. I know who I am. And I think he said something else too.
True.
And then he tweeted, his pinned tweet right now said, also, I'm just going to say it respectfully. Since 2015, I have been unbelievably against the original CEO or anyone corporate joining. I remember I'm only 1/4 of the owners. It was 3/4 that would make a decision happen. I was making $30,000 a month at 18, dude. I clearly did not want any parts with corporate people, their money, or manipulation. My mentality was always, let's just make the money ourselves so no one else can tell us what to do. Period. Been getting outvoted since 2015, and I've always been the difficult, quote unquote, one because I don't fall for the bullshit. I will always take accountability for everything I've done. I've been against this since day one because I knew this would happen. However, they trust the old rich white guys instead. I feel like that's like pretty standard. I feel like not standard, but I feel like that's pretty true. I mean, that like that's why FaZe took the downturn. It's because they trusted their business to these people that are literally like in their 80s. Like they're the age of our grandparent, like my grandparents. They're in their 80s now.
True.
Like they've trusted the company and people that probably barely know how to work a computer. When they were our age, typing was a skill, not like a common ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was something you put on your resume. You can't put typing on your resume these days. Everybody can type. And if you can't type, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's gonna suck. But like, it's I don't know. It's very you just, and then a bunch of people are like shit talking him in the comments, but that's the typical like phase rain tweet of any sort.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know. That's like, and I like to bring this up because that's why I'm going to business school. Like that's why I'm in college right now, getting my business degree, is so that with denial, like we don't have to like go through and make those same mistakes. Like I already know the gaming space, I know esports. I've been doing this for 5 years, and now, almost 5 years to the day, almost. But so like I've been doing this for so long, and now I'm going to school and I'm getting that like corporate, like the mainstream business education that they have, except when it comes to esports, you have to have both, or either experience or both. You can't just have business, because then you're not going to know what you're doing. And this then phases exhibit A. I was talking to my therapist about this the other day, because I don't know why it just came up because therapy, And she was like, well, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, like, I'm already in esports, but that's why I came to college, is so I could get like this formal training of what the business is like on like the government side, and like so I can make sure I know how to do all the paperwork, and make sure, we, go through all like the red tape, and make sure that we're doing things by the book as best as we can, so we don't have to hire people outside that are like, in it for their own benefit. And like, I'm okay with getting my C's. Like, I'm not going to get my master's or anything. I just need to know the information that I need to know and apply it.
Yeah.
So I don't need to regurgitate, this information that I'm not going to need, but that's why I get C's, you know what I'm saying? But the stuff that I do need, I reapply it to gaming like ASAP. I've got this whole like freaking like Google Doc where like I just have like I have a Google Doc, and then I have an Excel sheet where I've been like applying like strategies and stuff like that on how to make denial better. And that's all because of the fact that I'm like at school learning these things and like applying them to what I already know. And if like, and I understand at this point there really wasn't that like, hey, we could, do this for, for the next 10 years. But I feel like especially early on, but I feel like in 2015 though, like, esports is really starting to take off. I mean, if I remember correctly, I mean, it's not anywhere near where it is today. It like grew exponentially, but still though.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you're gonna just have to like learn from other people's mistakes. Don't do the corporate sellout thing, because exhibit A phase. Exhibit B, Optic. And FaZe
True.
is still in it. Optic was able to get out of it because, Hex is the man, but FaZe is deep in it, and they're trying to get out, but it's like they're like grasping at freaking like frayed strands of string, and sometimes they get a grip and it just breaks. But I feel like the CEO getting fired is a good start. Now they just need to bring in a CEO that's under the age of like, I don't know, 40. I feel like that'd be better.
They need a CEO that's like actually been like in the gaming space, or
Yeah.
they need to make one of their own people CEO, one of the two.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. Anyway, moving on. Also last weekend was the world's greatest event put on by Ludwig. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, because they said that they were playing X Defiant. So we got a nice look at X Defiant in its closest to release form. Like, this is like the new, like the best version of what we're going to be able to see the game as when it releases here and pretty soon. We've been hearing some news that it's coming out like at the end of the month or the beginning of October.
Depends on how submission goes. I mean, Mark Rubin put out a post on Monday.
Here, I'll pull that up.
He put out a blog post basically talking about like the release window of the game, and like when that should be happening. And he basically said that like they're going through like if they get a yes, then the game can come out mid to late September, which is like right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get a conditional pass, it means that they'll have to do a day one patch before the game can release, and they'll need time to work on that. So if they need a day one patch, they're looking at early to mid October. But he did like he confirmed yesterday that he wrote that blog post last week.
Yeah, for the
And
submission.
he did say in the blog post, he said in the blog post that submissions take 1 to 2 weeks. So there is a chance that most likely next week, but there's a possibility by the end of this week we could know when the game's coming out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited to and see what's going on. I'm so excited for this game to come out, man. I'm so
I,
excited for it.
I need this game so
Yeah,
bad.
I know you do. I know. Um,
I need this game really bad.
yeah, I think we all do. It's it's gonna be interesting. So, I mean, from what I looked at the game looks pretty smooth. I mean, like you said, there's a couple bugs that are, that need to get squashed. Um, come like either like before release or after release. Hopefully before. Um,
Biggest things during the betas was like the first beta, like the netcode was a problem, and it happened mostly in the first beta, but it also happened a little bit in the second beta. Was progression was a problem, but
mhm.
they got progression fixed in the last like 30, 24, 36 hours of the beta. It was fine. In the second beta, they fixed the netcode. The netcode's completely fine
Sweet.
now. So like a lot of like the more major stuff they got fixed. There just might be some little like minor things that they need to tweak. Uh, but it definitely shouldn't affect the gameplay experience. I mean, if I can have as much fun as I had back when the netcode was bad and I was getting shot around on walls all the time, and I still was like having a ton of fun and wanted to play the game all the time, then it's a pretty good game.
Yeah. So we're just gonna sit here and wait like freaking kids on Christmas waiting for their parents to get up. And that's the best way I can describe it. There is a new COD coming out too, but I don't really care personally.
I
Like,
think like I'm gonna play the beta, um, and I'm probably gonna buy the game anyways. But the thing is like the beta will show me whether I want to play it a
mm-hmm.
ton or not, because I'm primarily gonna focus on X-Defiant anyways. But if if this COD is fun and it's good, then I'll play it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But if I play it and it's like MW2 or like they just don't, maybe like the movement's better but it still feels weird or whatever, then I probably won't play it that much. And the skill-based matchmaking will definitely play a part in it
Oh yeah.
too,
And like,
because I mean obviously they're not going to change their
no,
skill-based matchmaking,
no, why would they?
but X Defiant's gonna have none of it. So I'm gonna go from having a ton of fun destroying people all the time on X Defiant to like having to sweat and caught, and that's probably gonna affect my experience.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is like, I think I'm gonna point this out is I'm probably not gonna play though. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm probably not gonna play COD. I don't want to say I'm gonna forever hang up my COD towel because I love COD. It's literally like the game that got me into gaming. But well, not really the game that got
Just
me.
wait till next year when
Yeah.
Treyarch drops
So,
their game.
but the thing is like, so I officially made my school's gender minority team. So that means there's no like anyone that identifies as a man is not allowed on the team. It's only people that identify as women or non-binary or gender fluid or anything like that. So I finally made that team. So I'm gonna be playing Valorant for my school, which I think is pretty cool. There's like a whole league for like the state schools.
Gotta get to grinding.
Yeah, I do. So maybe you guys will see some Valorant streams going on, you know? Yeah. And then you know, X Defiant obviously when it comes out, because you know, it's a we got some big plans coming for it. I'm excited for you guys to see. Deception and I, we've been working on some stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, we've been putting in the work, and
I haven't been this excited for a game since probably like Black Ops 3.
yeah. Um, I'm really hyped. Plus, it's a free game too, so like, I'm broke.
Yeah, it's literally free to play.
Yeah,
Like if you're like on the fence about playing it or you
just
don't
play
know
it.
if you'd enjoy it or
Just play
whatever,
it.
like you have nothing to lose, just
Yeah.
download it and play it.
The only thing that you're losing is space on your, you know, console or PC, you know, and it's cross-plat too, so that's awesome. So you can play with all your friends, no matter what they play on. Damn, XDefiant should really
Yep.
be paying us money for how much we talk about their game. At Mark Rubin,
True.
pay us. Sponsor the podcast. Anyway. So I don't know. I'm really excited. It's looking up. Um, I'm really excited to see. They brought Mark onto the world's greatest stream and talked to him a little bit about the game and whatnot. And he also said that he didn't have like a set release date. So um, we're really kind of just they're being very transparent, which I love. Um, Also, thanks Doc for the follow.
Mark Rubin's being the most transparent, but like the only reason why a lot of other people are not being transparent is probably like because they probably don't know as much as he does.
Yeah.
Like he's literally like the head of the project. He
Yeah.
knows the most, so he's
He
gonna
knows what's
talk the
going on.
most.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like that they're just being transparent in general. I don't care who's the one that's being transparent. It's just they're being transparent. I feel like that's really like important. Because
Well,
like
and even like Aches and stuff, like I don't know exactly what Aches' position is, but I would assume that like with how he's been talking about things, that Aches is probably like leading the competitive side of the game.
yeah.
Which I mean, he should be because he was a COD pro, but
Hmm.
Aches basically like he talks about the competitive stuff. Like they like when they had Aches on the world's greatest stream while the game was being played, like they asked Aches a lot about the competitive like system and like Aches said like for this was the first confirmation that we've gotten, but Aches said on the stream that at least for now, like in the beginning, competitive is gonna be 4v4. And the three modes that they're gonna play are Escort, which is like payload from Overwatch, or Safeguard from like COD.
Hmm.
Uh, Domination, which everybody knows what Domination is, and Occupy, which is Hardpoint.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean, so like, you know, going into when the game releases, and especially now like pre-game releases, the people that want to compete in this game and like, you know, kind of like capitalize on the fact that it is a new game, um can, and they know what to grind when the game drops. I mean, obviously I'm gonna be grinding everything, personally speaking, learning the maps, learning the
Yeah.
guns, doing what I need to do in all the different modes.
What
But
I thought was really funny about that event was that Clay was there, and he was the only player in the whole event playing on controller, and he
yeah,
dominated.
yeah.
He was destroying
Oh yeah.
everybody.
So let's kind of break this down for anyone who didn't watch it or didn't really follow it at all. So pretty much what it was a bunch of different gamers from all over the world, a bunch of different really well like known, very good gamers just across the board, all different types of games, coming together and competing for the title of world's greatest gamer. Well, world's greatest. They played a variety of games. They played Minecraft, Fortnite, Fall Guys, X Defiant, Counter Strike, like um the last game that they played was like the original Pong, like the first game ever created. Was
Yeah.
like the final. The winner was Void. Um, he ended up winning there at the end. He won in a friggin' blowout. I don't know if anyone else watched it, but he dominated that game of
Yeah.
Pong. Like it was good for me to watch. It was very exciting. Um, but so pretty much the first day I think was just like, you know, playing, you know, getting a good seed going into the next day. And then the next day was like eliminations where everyone, you know, got eliminated. I'm pretty sure. So it was
Yeah,
like a
like the
2-day
way
event.
they the way they did at least like the X Defiant part in the beginning of that day was like they basically just instead of making it random, they basically just did like, oh, the first like out of the people that were competing, the top 6 seeds were on one team and the bottom 6 seeds were on the other team, and it basically made it to where because they hadn't played a shooter game or anything yet, they it basically made it to where all the best shooter players were in the bottom 6 seeds. So like Clayster and like Tens were on the same team, and like
Mm-hmm.
they just went into X
Oh yeah.
Defiant and just blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
Like that was like the fastest like 3-0 I've ever seen. Like,
And they were like talking about how like the teams were like unfair, and it's just like the teams were random. Like they played for their like teams. You know what I mean?
yeah, like
Like
they got to where like that was just the team they were on because they
yep.
got to where they
It
got. It
wasn't
just
like
happened
a
to be that it just happened to be that the best like shooter players in
we're
the
on the same team.
like
It was is
were on
literally
the same
by
team.
it was just by chance. And I feel like because like that's what a couple people said, and like Ludwig was like that's why we designed it. We designed it so like we wouldn't know, and it would be just up to chance and up to how everyone competed in the days prior. And I feel like that was like a good idea on his part. I feel like that was pretty a well run, well like thought out thing, you know,
It
event.
did kind of show how good like a lot of the other players were though, because there
Yeah,
were a bunch of players that don't traditionally play shooters that were excelling in X
yeah.
Defiant.
It really like
Like there
that.
was a couple guys who were just really good. But
Oh
like
yeah,
honestly, like I think no matter where Clay went, I think he probably would have carried his team.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I think Clay's team would have probably won whichever team he was on
Well,
because
it's
he just
Clay.
dominated.
It's Clay. Um, but you know, it's one of those things that proves the the theory of game sense. As long as you have a good game sense, like original like basic knowledge of like just how games work in general, like you could go into any game and really just like perform well. You may not be the best, but you'd be
Well, a
able
lot
to
of those guys
carry.
hadn't played X Defiant yet. And Clay had already played a lot of
Well,
it.
yeah. And there's a couple other games too. Like there's like a Lego racing game that they played that, you know, a lot of these games they were allowed to like practice before. They'd like Counter-Strike 1v1s
Yeah.
and
I remember
not
they said one person, like they had one person that wasn't. They had like a dinner the night before the X Defiant thing,
mhm.
and one person didn't go because they stayed back and grinded X Defiant.
Yeah. They were pretty serious about it. And it was really interesting. I liked watching it. Um Definitely if they wanted to make it like an annual thing, I'd be down for that. Just different players, you know what I mean? Not the same players every year.
Different players and different games.
Yeah. I mean, they pretty much played every like well-known game known to man, you know what I mean?
It would be cool if like when they did it, like they played like different games and like the only person that came back was Void because he won.
Yeah.
So he could try to defend himself, but everybody else is new.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I like it. Let's run it. So I guess we'll kind of close that part of the pod. Another cool thing with like the CDL. Not really cool. It's kind of just like, you know, basic housekeeping, I guess. The London Royal Ravens relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina. So now they're the Charlotte Royal Ravens. Like they're the North Carolina Royal Ravens or something like that.
Why they did not change the name
I don't
is
know.
beyond me.
Because like Royal Ravens, it fits London mainly because there's a monarchy there where there is royalty.
Yeah, it literally like that whole there's a whole story behind the Royal Ravens name, and now
Yeah,
it's just gone.
it's just gone. And now there's no like teams that are outside of the North Atlantic, like the North American continent. Um, so there's no teams that are overseas. There's only one team that's out of the United States, and that's the Toronto Ultra. And I feel like it's hurting the league in a way because like now it's just all like it's all just U.S. and like a teeny bit of Canada. Like all of
The only
Canada.
problem, like the biggest problem with there not being a European team now is like it the whole like representation of Europe isn't a problem because Toronto's whole team is basically
European.
Half of Toronto's team is European. There's Europeans scattered around the league. It's not like it's a problem with representation. I think the main problem is it doesn't look as nice
Yeah.
globally
Well,
when you don't have European teams. And now, like, unless we have like a champs in London, there's like no chance at a London event.
yeah. And okay, here's another thing too that I don't think a lot of people thought about is like the whole point of going for this franchise league was to try to like help tie, because you know like how with like traditional sports, you live in a state, you root for the team that's for your state. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You live in a country, you root for your country's team. Like I live
yeah,
in New York, so most people they're either the New York Giants, New York Jets, or the Buffalo Bills as far as football goes. I'm a Buffalo Bills girly myself. Go Bills.
sure.
But that's just because I live in like upstate, so
Yeah,
it's
you don't
Bills
live
country
in
up
New
here.
York City, so that's understandable.
Yeah, it's Bills country up here, and then maybe like a couple
Pretty
like
pretty
Giants fans.
much like I would guess that like in New York it's like in New York City it's either the Giants or the Jets, but literally everywhere else is probably the Bills.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything else sprinkled too. There's a couple Jets fans, but it's pretty dominantly Bills. Like
I feel like there's only a couple Jets fans in existence, period, after what happened a couple
yeah.
nights ago.
So you want to hear this story? Speaking of the Bills, so the Bills played Monday night. Don't even want to get me started on that game. Anyway, I have a class at 7:30 I have a class at 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's a 2.5 hour lecture every Monday.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's atrocious. And to tell you like how it is like going to a school in upstate New York where we're like relatively close to Buffalo as far as like
Yeah.
the rest of the state is concerned. So um I went to class and the amount of people wearing Bills shirts and hats and hoodies. And my professor's like, listen, guys, I know the game starts in like an hour and you're going to be stuck here, but I'll try to get you out a little bit early so you can catch the end of it. He got us out like half an hour early. We got out at 9. But one of the people in front of me, one of the girls in front of me, she had Hulu pulled up on her laptop and she was watching the Bills game during lecture. And so what I was watching it too. I was just kind of like looking out the corner of my eye. I'm like, what's going on right now? Just because, yeah. But like that's just to tell you, like
That's
there are so many people. That's just like how it is up here. Like Bills, 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 Bills. That's why it's called the Bills Mafia. I mean, but that was kind of like what they were going for with like like franchising like video games is they wanted that same like home turf camaraderie type vibe, you know what I mean? And getting rid of these like overseas and like different like countries other than just United States and Canada, it diminishes it a little bit. It just makes it more of like a Western sport, and it alienates a lot of the foreign competitors, like people in Australia, people in Europe, and then just Africa, Asia, South America, Antarctica. I don't know if anyone's playing Call of Duty in Antarctica right now, but
I don't know if they can.
I don't think they can either. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not as
I think the
inclusive.
main issue is that like I believe the main issue and the biggest problem behind all it is just that's the fact that CDL just doesn't work. Like this is not proven to be a good idea over time.
You do have a point. You do have a point.
Like everybody said like when the CDL started, everybody was excited and like a lot of people were like give it 5 years and see what happens, and
It's just going downhill now.
we're about to go into we're about to go into year 5, and I'm hearing stuff that like when Microsoft takes over, the CDL is not going to exist, or they're gonna, or even if the CDL does exist, they're gonna go away from franchising.
Yeah.
Like, like so. I think the core issue is just the fact that Activision and Blizzard do not handle their esports well at all when they're the heads of it and not somebody else. And also the CDL just doesn't work. It just has not worked. Like this whole like city-based team thing it was a good attempt, but I don't think that city-based teams belong in like COD.
Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it the way it was before. I feel like once they moved to CDL, it just
Well, because there's a reason why like Halo hasn't done it, and why Halo has such a hardcore fan base is because they don't have city-based teams.
Yep. Yep.
Like,
Okay. I'm gonna take a little sidebar away from gaming for a second. Some cool shit that happened. Real world. Two alleged 1,000-year-old alien corpses, quote unquote, have been presented to Mexican Congress by journalist Jamie. I'm not gonna even butcher the last name. He testified under oath that the mummified specimens, which were found in Peru, are not part of our terrestrial evolution, with a third of their DNA being unknown. So I'm just gonna pull this up for y'all. So there's literal freaking proof. And I know a little while ago, you know, the government of the United States said that aliens exist, but none of us really care because our lives aren't going that great and the economy and everything, you know, the whole deal. But like this is still pretty
it
cool.
almost felt like a PR stunt to
It
say that
was. It was
aliens
like, hey
exist after
guys,
everything that's happened.
well, like we've known that they've existed. That's not the problem here. It's like, hey, we know everything else sucks right now, and you guys are struggling. Like, I live like paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? And I'm literally just
Yeah.
supporting myself. Like, I don't even know how it is for like people with kids, you know, and just like they're like, oh, we know things suck, but like aliens exist, so like, you know, smile, have a good time, cool things, you know. We're finally, you know, get on our side. We're finally like releasing this to you. Like, no one cares. The only thing I care about right now is like how I'm gonna make my next tuition payment. Like, that's the only thing on my mind.
Sure.
Like, if you pay for my school all the way, then yeah, I'd care about aliens. Actually, I do care about aliens. I'm really fascinated with aliens. I've always believed in the extraterrestrial. Um, and if you don't, you're literally wrong. Like it's been proven now, outwardly in the public, that aliens exist. And you're small-minded if you don't think that life form can form on other planets. It may not be human. It won't be human, but life forms do exist on other planets.
I mean, they found microscopic organisms in the water on Mars, so
Yep. And then, oh, I'm taking a geology class right now. And microscopic organisms is what like made the Earth like habitable. They're called stromatolites. They're like the little like, you know, typical shell fossil that you see um and like when you think of fossil, right? They're microscopic, and they photosynthesize. So if you don't remember what photosynthesis is from like elementary science, it's when an organism takes sunlight, no, not sunlight, takes carbon di- carbon 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 dioxide and does something to it within its body and turns it into oxygen. And so since there's so many of these stromatolites, they oxygenated our planet so that us humans could eventually, you know, like, you know, all the different oxygen breathing species of this planet could form. It's really cool. That was like one of the first things we learned in geology. So I'm just full of facts. I got
sure.
knowledge. Big brain over here. Anyway, aliens exist. And there's proof. So that's that on that. But anyway, back to gaming, I guess. Um, oh, Starfield is Starfield come out yet, or is it coming out?
It already came out.
It
It
already
came
came
out last Wednesday.
Okay. So for those of you guys don't know, Starfield is like the first new franchise, or like the first new like game really outside of like the franchise games that they've been putting out for like forever. of like,
It's like the first one in like 20 years.
yeah. People are loving it. Yeah. So from
I've heard
Bethesda.
nothing but good things about it.
From Bethesda. Because they've had Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for like the past like
Yeah, those are pretty much the only games they've made for the last 20 years until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So now they have this whole new game where you're literally like a freaking space traveler. That's why it's called Starfield. I really don't know a lot about it, but there's already like over 6 million people playing the game. So I think I should get it. Okay, thank you
I've
for.
really thought about playing it.
So this is a tweet from Bethesda. Thank you for coming with us on this journey as we built our first new universe in over 25 years. Now we invite you to embark on your own adventure. Okay, so these games like Fallout and Elder Scrolls are older than I am. I am 20 years old. I'm 20 years old. And these games have been around longer than I've been alive. Okay. I just want to like point that out. I want to make that very well known. They're older than you too, Deception. You're like 23, 24, right?
They're not much older than me.
Yeah, but they're still older than you. So, I feel like, I mean, here we are. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I really I want to play it, but also I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to be playing all these games. I need to focus on Valorant so my school can win and I can prove that men aren't the only people that can compete in video games. You know what I mean? And two, I gotta play X Defiant, man. We got some shit we're working on, and I can't support people playing it if I don't know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm looking for, I can't do what I need to do. You know what I mean? So
it's gonna be like the Optic fans every time they lose in COD. If you lose in Valorant, they're gonna be like, "It's because she's playing Starfield."
yeah, literally. It's because she's not. Because she's playing this. Because she's playing. No, I'm just. Leave me alone. I just suck. Okay. No, I've been
That's
knocking the
funny.
rust off on Valorant, low key. Like, I suck. But I've been slowly getting better. Because you remember, I used to be so good. Now there are all these new agents, all these new maps. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just trying to like play and like get a grip again. And it's mouse and keyboard. And I haven't played mouse and keyboard in a while. So like, because I used to compete in Valorant, you know what I mean? Like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like I'm like new to it, you know what I mean? Like when the game first came out, I used to compete. Fun fact. If you didn't know that about Miss Tonage Scorpier, yeah, I used to compete in Valorant a long while ago. Now I'm doing it again, and I'm very excited. Um,
Now you're doing it again.
but yeah. So, and Deception. I'll send you the link and the date. So every Wednesday, funny enough, is when we compete. So I'll send you the link on where to watch. We suck at Valorant. So anyway, anything else? I feel like there's more. I can't remember though.
I mean, I feel like we covered everything.
I'm just gonna like scroll up a little bit. Oh, Optic Gaming and Hex getting their own big league chew is pretty fucking awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I love Hex's face.
Yeah.
On it.
That like screams Hex though. Like that makes sense, you know?
It's just so funny.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now we can get into got like a little bit left podcast, so I feel like we can talk about that last topic. Um, so some recent stuff. Deception and I were talking about it today while I was in class, because instead of doing, class, I was talking about gaming per usual. I mean, it's what I do. I like scheduled
Yeah.
tweets for denial while I'm in class. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I started redoing our Discord, and I was doing it during class. I'm the master procrastinator in this. So anyway, but I talked about it with my therapist, and she said it's okay because school's not like I'm going to school for gaming. So if I let gaming slip, like, then what's the point of going to
Yeah.
school?
I mean, like, as long as you pass everything, it's
That's
like
what I'm
whatever.
saying. As long as I pass, I'm
Because
chilling.
it's like,
That's what she
who
said.
cares about geology when you're trying to do game?
Well,
Like,
I
what?
do care about geology because I'm trying to learn it because that's what Riss is doing with their life. But at the same time, I need like my motivation to like keep going to school every day because it is. Oh, I hate it. I forgot how much I hate school. But I also love it at the same time, so I don't. I hate going to class. I love learning. I hate going to class. So my therapist and I talked about it. She said it's okay that I do that as long as I'm still passing my classes. Because you know what? C's get degrees.
True.
And that's that on that. So anyway. So anyway, so what we wanted to talk about like the relationship between organizations and like their content creators and their players and like kind of what that entails because recently a lot of people have been getting their monthly salaries like leaked, I guess. Um,
It depends on if it's been leaked. Because, like, there's some orgs that, like, publicly state like, it's not really like, what I'm saying is it's not really, like,
it's not a leak as
frowned
much as like
upon or, like, it's not, nobody has ever made a rule that you can't, like, state your salaries or
yeah.
your players' earnings. It's
Actually
just a lot of people don't do it.
legally speaking, I've looked into this the other day. There is an act that protects employees saying that your boss cannot discuss your pay with anyone else, but you can discuss your pay with anyone you want to in or outside of the company. And if they um tell you otherwise, that's illegal. If they have you like sign a contract saying that you can't discuss your pay, that's illegal.
True.
There's like a whole act on it. I highly recommend it. Just like Google search is talking about your pay illegal and it'll pop up. So if you live in the United States, you're protected under the law to talk about how much you make. So just,
I just think, like, in esports, it's like a lot of people don't like talk.
no, it's
A lot of
very,
teams and players don't talk about their
no,
earnings,
they don't.
but there's also a lot of people that have been talking about their earnings lately. Because
Mhm.
this has only come out like recently, but
Yeah.
in recent like months, there's been a lot of COD players that have publicly stated like how much they earned on each team throughout their career.
Yeah, like
Like, I
there's
know Octane has
one,
talked about it, Ace
yeah.
has talked about it.
So from this tweet from CDL Intel, Zuma, when he was on Phase in the CWL era, he was making 20,000. Octane on Rise was making 2.5k, on Luminosity 4.5k, Optic 4.5k, 100T 10k, and then Methods was making 5k on Rise. And
Yeah, but that was also like throughout like the years where the salaries got better.
yeah,
Because like back in like Black Ops 2, like most people didn't make anything, or like people like Aches on Evil Geniuses and stuff would make like $500.
yeah. I was seeing this
And
thing
then
about
like
it.
as it got better, you'd make more.
I was seeing this thing about it, like players like in Valorant made like over like 300k because of the championship like skins that were going out, because it went to the players. Like a portion of the profits went to the players, and like, which I like, by the way. Some people were saying that that's a bad idea because it's taking money away from Riot. Riot is a big company. They sell
Riot has so
skins.
much money.
They are
They don't
their
need more
skins are
money.
so expensive. Okay, their skins literally freaking drain your bank account. Okay, they can afford to like
Yeah,
do
if you
one.
support like if you support Valorant esports, then you should be like when you spend your money, you should hope that it's going to a
Yeah,
player or a
same
team.
thing with like, like the Call of Duty skins. Like those should be going to the players. I don't know if they
Yeah,
do or not, but
I
because
don't think they do.
it's not something people talk a lot about anymore, like the money that they're making in this, because the more they talk about the money, you know, that's one thing that is going wrong with esports, by the way, is that these players are getting paid so much. And it's not that I'm saying they don't deserve it. It's just like the industry can't like handle that hemorrhage of like paying players like 100K a month.
Well, because there's like people like Hydra that were making like 400K on subliners, and then like the CDLs lose some money, and it's like I wonder why.
Yeah. Like, bruh, I survive off like not a lot a year. I am below the poverty line. Okay? There's no way these like subpar freaking Call of Duty players need to be making more than like what that fort it's like
I
over
think the
it's like 10
lowest
times.
salary that they can make is like 50K.
Dude, that's like almost 20 times what I make in a year. That's what they make in a month. Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah, I don't know if 50K a month is enough for COD players, especially because they have, well, most of them have like content they can do. They have like tournaments they have to play in that usually provide money as long as you don't place terribly.
Yeah. And like the thing
Like,
is like, yeah, I feel like I know that they deserve to get paid. But at the same time, you think about like, okay, cool. I'm in this, especially let's use Optic as an example, right? I join Optic. Okay, cool. Now you're automatically going to get people that watch your streams. So stream more. You're going to make money off the streams. You don't need a high contract. You get that like benefit of just like having that name in front of you and
you
like,
could be a pro that's like never streamed before and has like 100 followers on Twitter. And if you
yeah.
join Optic, you'll just blow up.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that used to happen with FaZe too. That's another problem that's going on with them right now. But anyway, like you join these orgs and this name is in front of you and people are going to watch you no matter what because you have that name in front of you. And so
It's like
if
Parasite when he joined Optic in like 2014 during Ghost. He joined Optic for like 3 days, like tripled his followers, and then left.
yeah. And that's like the thing too, like modern day competition in esports, you can't just compete. You can't. You can't
Yeah.
do it. It's not economically sound. Like Scump, he did it right. You know what I mean? He's like the number one example. He retired, had already had a good like content creation like backup thanks to Hex. Hex knows what the fuck he's talking about. And now, he's like one of the most successful content creators right now in the FPS space because
Scump's been the most subscribed COD player like the entire time he's been doing content.
yeah.
Like Nadeshot had him for like a little bit, but like after Nadeshot stopped doing a lot of content, Scump just skyrocketed.
So like and it set him up for when he was ready to retire. And now he racks in more money from content creation than he ever has before. It's just
Yeah,
setting yourself up
I bet he's made more money from the watch parties and the content he's done in the last few
than
months
playing.
than he has probably the past couple years of playing COD.
Yeah. So like, you just got to set yourself up better because you can't just rely. Deception and I were talking about this earlier. It's this two-way relationship between an org and a player or a content creator. You can't just expect to get everything from that. You can't just join an org and expect things to like just like happen better for you. You have to put in work yourself
Yeah.
too. And I get with the competition, you have to be good and you have to, practice and whatever. But like when it comes to like making your money, like you have to capitalize on certain things that you get from joining on that org. You know what I mean? You star in their, their content. And that's more people that find out about you. And they're like, oh, who's this? And so they look you up and they say that you've got YouTube videos and they watch your YouTube videos, and that's more money for you. And you're also getting paid to do those content videos for the org in the tier 1 aspect. Like in like the lower tiers, you know, like we're at right now, that doesn't happen. But it's one of those things. It's like
Yeah.
the orgs have something to offer, but you have to like pull your weight, and if that makes any sense. It's a two-way street. And yes, they want you, and yes, they're going to do what they need to do to get you if they really, really want you, but at the same time, they want you for a reason.
Yeah.
And they want you to star in their videos. They picked you as a creator because they think you mesh well with other people and they create good content with other people. And then there's, you know, all that other stuff, right? And they'll have things to offer you, you know, like free merch or like tips or like connections, and stuff like that. But you can't just like take and be like, oh yeah, but I have a big following, so like that's what you guys are getting. You know what I mean? That doesn't work like that. Like you, because like when people do that, when they're like, oh, I'm not gonna star in the videos, I already like, you know, promote you guys like on my channel. Like, why would I start in the videos? It's like, because then the people that actually do participate in those videos or streaming or whatever in the org related things, they're like wrung dry. Like they're squeezed out dry because they're the only people that are willing to do it. And you still got to put out the content. You still got to do this and do that. And this is coming from someone who has done it for like years. I've been running content and social media for organizations for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
Well, 4-ish. About 4 years. I've been running content and social media for low tier organizations. And I'm not saying low tier is like bad quality. I mean like low tier isn't like small following. And like that is one of the problems that consistently come up. It's the same 3 people doing the videos and the other people that are like, well, I really don't have time. Okay, well, if you don't have time to be here, then leave. I want, like, you coming into this, you knew, like, I don't know, I could get really angry
That's the
about
thing
this.
about people that like join orgs. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be like, you have to do this thing like fully full time if you want to
No,
be on an org. But there are a lot of people that like join orgs that have like jobs or have like families with kids and stuff. And it's like they constantly are just like, oh, I can't do this because of my job or my kids or my family or whatever. And I'm like, what are you, when are you going to do it then? Like, how
yeah,
are you going to like improve anything if
like
you
you,
like don't want
like
to do
you
it?
don't have to join an org. If you can't handle being in an org, you don't have to join one. That's not like a requirement. You're like, oh, this makes me a content creator now. No, Tim the Tatman didn't join an org until he was one of the most popular streamers out there. Okay, you don't need to
True.
join an org to be a content creator. Is it a benefit? Yeah, you get to meet cool people, you get to be a part of something, like it's a cool experience, but you don't have to. But because like then you're just hurting the org you're joining. You're like, yeah, I want to be part of this org, but I'm not really going to do anything for them. I just want like the name in front of me, you know what I mean? And like that just like affects the org itself because they're investing in you. They're investing their time, their energy, and maybe even money. Most likely money, like into you as a creator or as a player, and for you just like not to care enough to like invest time back into them. It's like it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It can't just be a take or like I'm gonna give a little but I'm gonna take more, you know. It's a 50-50 split, you know. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, depending on like the level of the org. Like the bigger orgs you don't really have to do as much, you know. You just kind of have to
Yeah.
because they pay you a lot of money, so like, you know what I mean. But like when it comes to these smaller orgs, you have to do quite a bit because you know they're still growing, and you know sometimes they crash and burn, but that's just because that's just how it works for gaming. That's why, like, I don't know, have I told you about this happened? My idea for a couple years down the line of my org AED. I think I've spoken about it on the podcast.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this.
No? So have you ever heard, like, have you ever seen, like, the TV show, like, Bar Rescue?
Nope.
No? No. Or, like, Gordon Ramsay show where he goes in and, like, scopes out a restaurant and then, like, helps them, like, fix their problems?
Saying that.
Okay, so it's pretty much that, but, like, works. They hire me for, like, a certain amount of time. Hypothetical. Okay, this is all hypothetical because I want to do this, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. I have to, like, make denial successful first, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I have to, like, get credentials or whatever. But,
Yeah.
so it is, they call me in. They're like, hey, Tone, like, we're struggling. We don't know what to do next. We're kind of, like, hit this plateau or we're going downhill and we don't know how to fix it. They call me and I'm like, yeah, I got you. Bring me in and I work my magic. I sit down with everybody and actually I have like a written game plan on this. And I swear to God, if anyone watching this podcast steals my idea, I'm gonna be upsetty spaghetti. Okay? I put a lot of effort, time, and focus in thought into this, okay? So if any of y'all steal this, I'm gonna be very upset. Okay? Might get a little angry. So pretty much, come in, I sit down with the management squad, the owner. Well, I sit down with the owners first, and then I sit down with management. Figure out what they want to go, where they want to go, what their goals are. Figure out some goals for me being there. So I don't want to spend too much time. I have like it's like time frame I got right now is like 6 months. I'm like, I'll give you tools. We'll figure some stuff out within 6 months, and then like you'll be my client for 6 months, and then after that you get like a year of being able to contact me, but I'm not working with you full time type deal. So they get 6 months of my pretty much almost full-time attention on like helping grow, fix some changes. And so I go in, I look at what like I do like an assessment of like the situation, and do like one-on-one interviews with like the entire management team after those group interviews. Just kind of get a feel for everyone's like opinion, because everyone's opinion matters, and especially in gaming, everyone has different experiences. Everyone's been part of different orgs, part of different communities, and they've seen different things. So you get everyone's perspective, and then you sit down, you have your notes, and you figure out a game plan going forward, figure out what's going wrong, what's going right, and how to fix it. And then you fix it. And that is my business idea for when denial kind of like grows and then steadies out, you know what I mean? When I don't have to put in all this work all the time.
Yeah.
Because like I know it's going to continue to be work, but like the amount of like time and effort that I put into denial right now, like I'm like firing on all cylinders. I'm all the jobs. So
You're not wrong.
When I don't have to do that anymore, when I can kind of just like be like, okay, delegate. Oh, here's an idea. Delegate. Oh, I'll do this. When I'm at that point of, denial, then this is when I'm going to start doing this. Because then I'm like, okay, we have a sustainable following. We know what we're doing. Let's help some people out. And then, make a little money too. So I don't have to work for a corporate company and sell my soul to the big man.
True.
But what do you think? What do you think of a deception? Think it's a good idea, or am I just like crazy?
I think it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I think you definitely know what you're doing more than a lot of people.
Yeah. Now I just gotta like do it, you know what I mean? And this is like
True.
this is like my time to shine. You know what I mean? Like I've had all this information. I was sitting on it for years, trying, and now I have the opportunity to put my money where my mouth is, as the saying goes. Right? Is that how the saying goes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been a lot of bark with no bite. Now I'm biting, okay? Freaking piranha up in this, okay? And someone take this mic away from me. So now's my opportunity and I'm taking advantage. I mean, like, denial has grown. Like we've gained like 450 followers since not 450, 350 followers since I became the social media manager, like a year ago. And that's with like very like inconsistent posting. I've only really worked at it for like 6 months consistently. And now I'm back at it again for another 3 months to end of this year. So like our growth has been really insane. Like I'll have to pull it up for you, Deception, after the podcast and like actually like break it down for you and show like what's different and what has improved. We're about to have some things happen that we haven't had in a while, and I feel like it's gonna be really beneficial. I'm not gonna try to leak a lot because don't want to like
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I don't want to like jinx it, you know what I mean? Because I like being open. I like being transparent, especially on this podcast. But for certain things, I want to wait until after they happen, and then I'll be transparent about them, and kind of like work through the process. But there's certain things. I pick and choose which things I want to leak and which things I don't. So, what Deception I've been working on behind the scenes. That's something that I'm gonna keep in my little back pocket for a while, until it's set in stone. Because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to. I don't want to jinx it. So, be like, I don't want to talk all this big game, and then be like, it didn't happen. Yikes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of went on my rant already. I think that's pretty much the end of my rant. I know I kind of just like rambled for a little bit, but it all had a purpose. It had a purpose.
True.
Yeah. All right, Deception. You have anything else you want to talk about this episode of the Collab Together podcast?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure to hit that follow button. Follow us on everything. I'm working again on trying to get all the podcasts uploaded to both YouTube and all the other podcast streaming platforms. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Eventually this one will be up. I don't know when. By the time that this one's up, you will know what I've been talking with Deception of my little project is on the side anyway. Because I gotta upload like 20 podcasts. Super behind. That's my bad. They're all uploaded. I just gotta like, do the whole like naming them. Because I have to rewatch them. Figure out what they were about. That's why I've been doing notes again. On like what we're doing during the podcast, just so I don't have to like rewatch the entire podcast and know what we talked about, so I can title them a little bit easier, and then I have to do like descriptions and tags and stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Make sure you follow us. We stream this podcast live every Wednesday at noon, at 12 p.m. EST on Kick. It's kick.com/tonnage-scorp and kick.com/deception276. So make sure you guys tune in next week and the week after that and all the other weeks. We got a lot coming for you guys on this podcast and just like in general in our own personal like careers and stuff. But we're really excited for these next couple months. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
Peace.